three of us here who are going to help our viewers and help you de-stress. That's what we're going to do, especially during this time. There's a lot of stress that a lot of us are feeling. And what are some of the things that are your comfort things to do? Mine's right here, drinking my tea.
I find a cup of tea to be very calming. And I just like the whole idea of brewing tea.
Poor Karen. Karen's like,
I feel like
I'm over here. What about
I saw this sign yesterday at Winners, and it said it's beginning to look a lot like cocktails. And it was like a red sign, and I'm like, this screams Karen.
Can I just go on the record saying I hate tea?
Really? No, you don't.
Yes, I just had to do that. Art drinks tea all the time. I hate it.
Okay, so we know that tea doesn't de-stress you.
You can't make me.
You, Karen, what de-stresses you?
I think sleeping all day long is a wonderful thing, but no, I've been reading a lot. And I haven't done that the way I used to, but I've been reading a whole bunch of classics. And
so what would you say right now, because you've read it, a little bit more, what's a really good book that you've been reading that you really like that you would share with everybody else?
Me?
No, you said that you like to read. Like, I know this is a different dynamic.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
I know Mel reads.
I've been reading all the Trump books. I didn't want to, but I am. I can't help myself.
Did you just read the book Mary Trump wrote? Because it was my book club pick for last month. And I didn't think I'd like it. And it was surprisingly riveting. I really, really liked it.
I have a lot of mixed feelings about it and her because a Trump is a Trump. And some books I won't buy. I'll either wait till they're at the library or I'll borrow it from someone and then someone will borrow one of mine.
Her book was almost like reading People magazine, with all the insider stuff. But what I took from that book is that parenting has so much to do with how you shape a child and how that carries on into their lives and how that those early foundational years really, really solidify and form a person's personality. And I found from a psychological perspective, the insights into that interesting. I looked at it from that angle. And then kind of springboarding off that, when you're talking about ways to de-stress and productive things during our times of COVID, I got a lecture series on parenting, and it was about raising socially and emotionally well-adjusted kids and sort of the science behind that. And there was a series of lectures. And I kind of was listening to those part and parcel. I was reading that Trump book. And then I think, how much of our societal problems could be remedied with better parenting, right? Or being able to offer people parenting classes. And, the old adage, you don't need a license, or you don't have to, parent, to become a parent, there's no sort of test, right? Or, how do you become a good parent? And maybe now I'm just more interested than ever in parenting, because I think nothing has made parenting more challenging than COVID. One of the big challenges that it's been very public, what decision you've made in terms of where you've placed your child. Are you having them homeschooled? Are you doing online? Are you sending them to school? And there's no right or wrong, but your decisions as a parent are impacting your child. And what are those long-term consequences? I just find it so interesting, right? Because there's pros and cons to everything. Send them to school, there's pros and cons. If you do online, pros and cons. They're home with you, that's got its own pros and cons. So there's really no right way to do it. But I would say that, it's definitely a challenge. And I think we're going to look back on these years, years from now. And hopefully we've got some really good insight into, how those decisions have impacted kids and maybe what we can do differently in the future.